Good evening, everyone. As you can tell, I am not Marissa Chu. Not even close. But this is going to be one hell of an Athletics LLC performance. This is one of my favorite shows because it's the week of conference and all kinds of nonsense and shenanigans are afoot. These wonderful people have taken the time out of their prep for conference, so we're going to give you the best show we possibly can. KOP, how we doing this evening?
The season has started. It's championship time.
Indeed, indeed. Uh, the Governator, how we doing?
Mhm. All good. Calm before the storm, as they say.
Uh, they do say that. They do indeed say that. I don't even know if we want to ask you how you're doing, sir, because I spoke with you earlier today, and you were going outside and dressed in all black with a camouflage hat on, carrying a bat. So,
I was.
how are we doing, Sir Lucius?
I am well. I'm just ready for a phenomenal championships. We're hosting this weekend, so I was just getting ready. That's all. That's it.
I love it. Well, I'm gonna throw a curveball at all three of you, and I'm just gonna ask you a couple questions and to get us started. I'm gonna ask the first one, which is each of you, what are you most looking forward to in this particular conference championship? We'll start with the governor.
Oh man. Well, if I'm going to be honest, this is the first time that UTSA has ever been in the American Athletic Conference the outdoor conference championships. So I'm most looking forward to seeing how my athletes respond to the challenge. Um, it is it's quite a bit different from Conference USA. And what we're dealing a lot more with is there are a lot more niche teams. There are a lot more teams that are very good in certain areas. And so, when you're a team that's trying to be balanced, um, we have to be really good in our little areas as well. So um, I'm I'm very looking forward to seeing how our individual athletes take care of their individual business.
I like it. KOP, it's going to be an interesting time over in Spartanville. I always wonder, by the way, if there was a dual meet between San Jose State and Michigan State, what would happen?
There'd be a lot of confusion, but I'm pretty sure it'll weed out sprint.
I mean, it would be the first meet where Spartans would win every event.
So this would usually be a difficult question for me, but this year it's really not even close. So allow me a minute to paint a picture for you. This is year 3 for me and my crew. Year 1, we recruited a young man named Mekhi Harrison out of the Charlotte area. He came into the conference, and under the direction of myself and Ernie Clark, he became the Mountain West champion outdoors. Last year, we strategically decided to redshirt Mr. Harrison and had a superstar freshman named Damaris Waters out of the Pennsylvania area come here at the championship, win the championship, and break the Mountain West record. Mr. Waters was just named to the All Mountain West 25-year team a week ago. And now this year, we have another freshman phenom, Malachi Snow, who's been ripping up the hurdle scene all year. So we have 2 defending champions, neither which who have ever lost at this championship, and the freshman who might be good enough to beat both of them. Either way, we should sweep this event. So if you're asking me which thing I'm looking most forward to, it is that intrigue in that particular race between us.
That sounds like more fun than the law should allow. I had to give you, time to think about this because I know, Sir Lucius, between all the things that can happen and the fact that you're hosting, I can only imagine what this answer will be.
I mean, it's a simple answer for me. I mean, this is my favorite track meet. And you know, yes, I've been to Worlds and Olympics and the Diamond Leagues and all that stuff, but there's nothing like the excitement. There's nothing like the passion and just the SEC meet, man. It's the meet I look forward to every year. I think there's going to be some phenomenal meets there. I mean, meets. I'm sorry, not meets. There's some phenomenal events in the meet. I mean, just pick one. As far as the Gators involved, I'm excited to see everybody compete. You know, we've tapered well. We're in a good mindset. We're in a good place as far as our health is concerned. And I'm just looking forward to everybody going out there, putting their best foot forward and competing hard. But if I think it's on ESPN something to get your popcorn, sit down, and get ready because it's going to be a good one. It is.
No doubt about that. I don't know. Has there, like, I'm not trying to be funny. Has there ever been a bad SEC track meet?
Not that
Not
I
in
can
recent
remember.
memory.
Not that
I
I've
know,
ever seen.
I can't
You know.
imagine that has happened.
Wait,
I don't,
see, and
I
the
don't
thing
remember
is,
the
it's
very
like,
first iteration, but I think pretty much they've all been good.
it's usually like, it starts on Thursday, and there's some, there's never any like huge fireworks on Thursday, but there's some very solid performances, right? Everybody kind of runs to chalk, as you guys say. And then Friday, the 100 start and the 400 start, and the short hurdle start, and then it just kind of gets going. And then on a Saturday, the first event on the track is 4x1. And yeah, like like I think on the women's side, you have Tennessee's out there at 42.5. And then after that, between 43 flat and 43.5 or 6, there's like 5 other teams or 6 other teams, right? So it's just going to be a blanket finish in that. And then on the men's side, you've got 4 teams between 38.4 and 38.7. So it's going to be
You
a
guys
good
should have
one.
all been at World Relays.
No, thank you.
I jokingly segued about World Relays, so let's get into that. A, what did you guys think of the meet? And B, because there always has to be something for us to talk about, coming out of the meet, what did you guys think of Mr. Noah Lyles' comments about the meet?
Which ones?
I mean, I'm mainly concerned, I guess, from my perspective, with the excuse for his lack of energy and ebullience with the fans afterwards, and a what I call a sandwich compliment, like this was good, then this really bad burger in the middle, and then another good bun on top. His excitement and exuberance about the meet backhanded and followed up with the security on the warm-up track was awful, and it was therefore exhausting for him to attempt to warm up and be focused on the meat.
Well, he warmed up pretty
So
good.
I just want to know what you guys thought of the meat.
I mean, he warmed up pretty good because he ran pretty well. So
that's what I thought.
Yeah, but look, those are Noah's feelings. If that's how he feels, just he has to take ownership of those. And who am I to be critical of how he feels? But I mean, with stardom comes that issue, right? People want to and as much as he's out there, as much as he puts himself out there, it's only going to get worse. So that's something he better figure out and find a way to deal with it because it's not going to go away. But I mean, hey, as far as the meet goes, I mean, I kind of like the concept of qualifying to the relays. That gets some interest in it, and watching the meet and watching the excitement of the teams of the countries as they qualify for the Olympics was pretty cool. But I don't think it'll have any bearing on what happens in Paris because half the teams won't even have those same 4 people on the track. So
sure.
So to piggyback off of Sir Lucius, this is the closest thing on the world stage to NCAA prelims that you're ever going to see.
Yeah.
And I think, it is actually a stage for a lot of athletes that might have been right underneath the, the superstars, whoever it was that decided that they did not want to go or could not go or were not prepared. We're able to see in a lot of respects the future from various countries. I mean, the highlights that just stuck out to me, Botswana's 4x4. Holy moly. Unbelievable performance there. USA men's 4x1. I mean, another example of just how deep the USA pool is. I mean, we're probably, I mean, in some circles, that was probably a C team, would you not say, Luciano?
C would be high.
I mean, that was pretty unbelievable. And to still come up with a 37-4 twice, dominating performance. Another highlight for me was Gabby Thomas in a 20-minute span, running backstretch on the 4x1, coming back, giving how fast was her split on the 4x4?
49, 4 or 5.
49 low, that's right.
Within 30 minutes, 20, 30 minutes. Pretty damn impressive. You know, I didn't see anything in terms of shocks. I mean, the Jamaican men's 4x4, that was probably an example of, and I don't know what led to them selecting that team, but the idea that they thought that team was going to qualify for the Olympics, probably a little bit short-sighted, in my opinion. The solidarity between the African countries. I mean, that was, it wasn't lost on me. Just watching them celebrate together, making the Olympic standards together. That was pretty phenomenal. Overall, I mean, you watch that day 2 was far more exciting than day 1, and obviously it was do or die in the earlier section. And then the second section, what were you motivated by? You were motivated by prize money.
Prize money, yeah.
You had, so you had all of that going on all at the same time. Loud crowd, loud, and for some athletes, it was almost too loud. I remember there were being comments that they couldn't even hear the incoming runner handing off to them because the crowd was so loud. So I think it was a successful weekend. And I hope it stays in Bahamas.
So
Yeah.
I will pick it up where you ended it. I love world relays, and listen, it should always be in the Bahamas. There's no reason to move it.
Mm-hmm.
They do a fantastic job putting on a great show. If you want to throw a track party, you do it in the Bahamas.
That's right.
I love the concept of holding countries accountable for showing up at this thing and using it as a qualifier.
Mm-hmm.
I think that is a good practice. I hope it becomes an annual practice. If there is worlds, there should be world relays to get your teams in. I love what I would call the losers bracket. You screw up and you get another chance to get your qualifier off, though you lost your money. I'm here for that. The one part that I'm a little confused on, and the broadcast team, I don't think explained it very well, so I will pause my comments and ask for clarity. All but 2 teams per relay have now marked their spot.
That is correct. 14 of the
16. How do you get the other 2 spots?
World rankings.
World rankings.
But I read today that it was time-based.
Well,
really?
because in the relays, that's what it will be, right?
I read something today that said you somehow they have to get in the top 16 time-wise. So it was very confusing to me too. So I'm not the guy to ask the question.
So
I don't know.
So if it's just a descending order list, and the 2 next fastest nations throughout the season that haven't already got a spot get in, okay, cool. I guess I understand that. If it's rankings and you're telling me the time matters, but where you do it and against who you do it matters, now it's weird and I don't want to play. So I hope it's just the time. Having said that, the main thing on the quote unquote negative side that stood out for me was Team Jamaica, who we all know is awesome, looked the shambles.
Yeah.
It was bad. It was bad across the board. And they're so much more gifted than that. And I know they have better athletes than that. So sending those groups to do those meets felt a little, I don't know, felt a little arrogant to me. Like we could just send anybody and we're just going to get through. Well, the majority of them didn't get through. So it's going to be interesting to see how they move on to secure their spots, because the
What
idea
is
of
Jamaica missing?
I know the
you
men's
have to
They're
go
4x4.
to
missing the men's 4x4, right?
Men's 4x4.
men's
I know that for
4x4,
sure.
which they absolutely shouldn't be missing,
Right.
right?
Did they get a mixed relay in? I don't think so.
I don't think they got the mixed relay through.
Yeah.
Did they get the women's 4x1 through?
I think they did. On the
They
second
did
day.
on day 2.
They did.
Okay. Yeah, it's just they're so much better than that. And so watching that, I was like, what is going on? I thought Team USA, with the exception of 4x4 shenanigans, I thought Team USA did a really good job. To KST's point, if you just get the passes clean enough, it's not really a race.
No.
And to their credit, Mike and Michelle did a really good job with the personnel that they had there. It was clean enough. On the men's side, I'd say it was good.
Yeah.
And they rolled, right? 37-4, with that group is impressive.
Yeah.
It just is. But overall, man, I think it's a great event. And I'm always intrigued by the little nuances of relay running, right? Like the French and the Japanese with the underhanded passes versus, everybody else. I agree. The African solidarity was dope. That was very, very cool. But no, I'm here for the event. They should continue to do it. And the Caribbean doesn't get a lot of shine. Leave the World Relays in the Bahamas. Leave it there.
I just think it's a perfect place to have it, for a lot of reasons. At that time of the year, because of the meets that are in Florida, a great number of countries come to Florida to do training camps, and it's the easiest flight possible, right? From Florida to the Bahamas. So it just makes a lot of sense staging wise and preparation wise. But I don't want to overcook this, but I had a couple of interesting takeaways from it, aside from what you guys pointed out. I hope he's not hurt, but Hakeem Sani Brown not being on Japan's final relay was interesting.
Because he killed it in the first round.
Yes, he
Right.
did.
So I don't know what behind that, but like I said, these are just little things I pulled out of it. I hope everybody was paying attention to the fact that the Dutch qualified without either one of their 2 dogs on the women's side.
Yep.
That was actually relatively impressive. Obviously Botswana looks loaded for bear, and to that point, let's see.
All right. So can I just do what I do? They ran 2:59. Okay.
Yeah.
What is like? Why is that loaded for bear? They ran 2:59. Well, that performance will be 3rd or 4th at the NCAA meet this year.
Yes, but okay, it's only in our country that we do the that's not that fast. I agree. I get it. I understand, right? But what I'm saying,
I'm not trying to be contrary here. Like, they ran well, but they ran 2:59. I mean, it's like,
I'm going to give other countries who are showing advancement, especially in May, credit for that. I understand. If they run 2:59 in Paris, that's not going to be good. I get it.
No, it's not.
But I'm going to assume that they're not going to run 2:59, and neither are we.
Mm-hmm.
Right. So that's all I'm saying.
Well, see, and again, we will that team we ran as a shell of a team, of what we're capable of, but Botswana is who they are. That's all they got. So Yeah,
I will say this about the
not trying to
Botswana
be
performance.
contrary.
It there's no reason that McCullough should be out there running 47.
I
No.
mean,
So
Right.
if he runs
But dude, he's like
appropriately,
50 years old. I mean,
hey,
how much
listen,
faster is he going to run?
listen. I remember that boy trying to do wild doubles. Just focus on one
Absolutely.
thing
I mean,
and get you a 44 high out the hole, 45
I mean,
low
even
out the hole, and
45,
we'd be all
even
right.
45 out the hole be better than
He
the
has to be
47.
he has to be 35, 36 years old. He looks it anyway.
He's definitely
Right?
every ounce of that.
Right. And so like that might be all he's got. So they run 259 with a 43-second split.
Yes.
That's not.
Anyway, stop beating up on the country, man. I was just trying to give him a
No,
little love.
no, okay, they give him some love for doing well, but don't say
Oh.
they're loaded for bear.
I'm going to finish. I'm going to finish with my brief snippet love fest.
God.
Oh man.
Can we give some love to Ireland's women?
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay, I'll go with
Yeah.
you on that one, but the other one,
Okay.
no.
So all I said was
No.
we're going to give a little love to some of these other
No,
countries.
you said loaded for bear.
For
That's what
them.
got me going.
For them.
No,
They
sir.
are. That's
They
what
ran
listen.
259.
All
Stop
right, it's
it.
Botswana.
Okay, they've run faster than that.
I know Florida runs
That was-
faster than that, but that's not
Hold
the
on a second.
point.
This is not about Florida. Stop it.
Oh gosh.
Stop it. This
They
is
ran
about the
faster
fact
than that when McCullough was young,
exactly. So
or
he's
less
not young
old, I
anymore.
should say.
But anyway,
Huffy.
Ireland's women were
Okay,
impressive.
it's conference
Yeah.
week, okay?
Exactly.
Yeah, that's what
right.
it is.
Right.
I
He's
forgot he had
here
the
right
bat
now.
on.
Easy.
Okay, the other thing. Okay, so can we give some love to my guy Joseph Fambula?
I was trying to get there, but
Absolutely.
you keep interrupting me.
No, you talking about Botswana? I don't want to hear about no 259.
Listen, all I know is this: I've never seen spaghetti straps move that fast in my life.
Oh God. Okay.
See,
All right.
disrespectful.
All right.
It's not.
Disrespectful.
It's factual.
All right.
Disrespectful.
It's factual.
Disrespectful.
Listen,
Disrespectful.
at
The
the end of the
spaghetti
day,
straps are disrespectful.
Thank you.
listen,
They are.
I'm
as
gonna
well.
be, I'm gonna be,
Thank you,
I'm gonna be
KOP.
complimentary and petty at the same time. What I thought was most awesome about what Joseph Fambule did is it justified a comment that I made to somebody at Florida Relays, because they were popping off
Don't
about
do
how
that.
what would have happened if Noah had gotten the stick. And I said on the day, Noah
Not
would have got
much.
embarrassed, because Joseph Fambule is a different human being with a stick in his hand, especially from 50 to 100. Who has he not run down?
What
I
I
mean,
will say about Joe's relay team, and I really mean this. Uniforms aside,
Here we
the
go.
other three, no, because listen, the other three, y'all got to figure it out,
Right.
because
They do.
you could actually get a medal
Yes.
if you get the boy close.
Yes.
Just get him sort of
you-
close.
But you can't ask him to do all that.
No.
Come on now, we gotta get it together. Okay, I am here for Liberia's men's 4x1 coming away with a medal in Paris. I am not now the Team USA D team that is Liberia's women. No, I'm gonna need y'all to do better.
But they were great on day one for them. Not great.
No. Listen, they were doing fine. You got to get the sticks right.
Yes.
Listen, you got to get it right. But no, get that boy some help, y'all, and the men are gifted enough to get it right. Like
Yes.
they can get that right.
And the Bahamas is one female leg away from being a very large problem in the mixed relay.
Absolutely.
Very large problem.
Yes,
Because
they are.
Shawnee Miller-Weibo is back.
Yes, she is.
I mean, she is
Shawnee
back.
looked good. She looked good.
And then Adeleke, 48-4.
I mean, right?
Wow.
Mm-hmm.
A week after running 10-7.
Pretty phenomenal.
Yeah.
Pretty phenomenal. Her post-race interview, I mean, it's one of the most more effusive interviews I've seen her do. And it's like this light bulb's gone off in her head. Like, wait a minute. I can be just as good as all these ladies out here. And I see only bigger things. I mean, you think about who she beat at the meet in Texas.
Mm-hmm.
Like, that's
Right.
no small feat, right?
Yeah, win or no win.
Win or no
pummeled
win.
them. Yeah, it wasn't
Absolutely.
close.
Not just that,
Um,
didn't she do double duty? Didn't she do mixed
Yeah.
relay and 4x4?
yes, she did.
She did.
Like
Yep.
everybody who did that, they get a huge round of applause from me because
He
that
did it
right
on the
there was
first day,
not
but not the second day. He did
right.
it on the
Right.
first day.
All right. Not the second.
Right.
Yeah.
Now,
But that's,
now I
you know what I
will
mean. But
say,
that's impressive stuff.
No, it is. And they,
I'm
and they
not.
qualified in both of them too.
Mhm.
That's right. That's right. They did. I'm not going to dodge the original other question. I will simply say, Mr. Lyles, that is not the complaint that you want to be making. If you're going to be the star, then be the star. Hire more bodyguards or something, bro. I don't know what to tell you, but like
Y'all call me petty.
it is. No, but listen, again, it's the culture thing, right?
Yeah.
Like I don't want to hear whining about security in the Bahamas. You wasn't in danger. Everything's fine. Get some more bodies and keep people away from you if that's what it need be. But none of that has anything to do with energy for the fans after the fact. Like,
No.
no.
My thing is this is that, you know, Noah and his camp have done a phenomenal job of creating this energy and passion around him. And so they're going to have to find a way to control it or they have to tone it down. But because of the way he, you know, this is what he attracts, you know, his
Yeah.
energy, the things the way, you know, everything about him attracts people to him. So as long as you're doing that, bro, I mean, it's going to happen. It is. It's kind of like we said before, you can't call for attention and then hang up the phone.
Like you can't be famous and forget that fan is short for fanatic. Right.
Mm-hmm.
When like if you're calling attention, like, hey, look at me, can't be mad when they want to look at you.
Right. And again, he's the guy right now. You know, he's the Bolt, he's Carl, he's, you know, all that. And so he's gonna have to find a way to live with that because that's not going away. You know?
No.
And look, let's be quick. Rightfully so, he's the guy right now.
Sure. Yeah.
Rightfully so. Yeah. He had
Yeah.
definitely.
What
There's
do
the
we
key right
make?
there. He earned it.
What do we make of Tobogo's comments regarding the world record and in the 200?
I liked it.
I thought it
I
was
liked
super
it.
smart. Deflect all of the attention and energy on your boy.
Yep.
That's right.
I'm gonna show up to the line and run really fast.
No, but and understand when you talk about a whole problem, that dude's a whole problem.
Oh my
100%.
gosh.
The people who are actually physically capable of taking that from Noah are the quiet ones. They don't want no attention. They over here minding their business.
Yeah, without question. I will say I'm being greedy, but I would love to see a shuttle hurdles added to the world relays. That would be dope.
It would be.
Sure.
Yeah, but like, who's gonna run it? Like 3 countries?
Yeah, that's
I don't know.
Yeah, so you know.
Look,
It's
if
not
there's a
an
mixed relay
intriguing
that
race.
should be run, let's
See,
run the mixed relay in that.
and I will say, be a little petty here. It's like going to the pin relays and watching South Carolina break the collegiate record, us chase them to it, and Tennessee chasing us, and then the next heat's 1 in 58 seconds. That's not cute. No.
Fair enough. Fair enough.
So for clarity, you know, and I
Okay.
had to go back and look.
Yo, I saw you over there digging. I saw you.
So the Jamaica mixed relay made it. The women's 4x1 made it, and the women's 4x4 made it. The men's 4x1 and the men's 4x4 are not in right now.
That's crazy.
Insane.
So now the question becomes, okay, so where are they going to go run to get in?
Well, it's interesting you should say that, because
there's a meet in Jamaica.
There's a meet in Jamaica this weekend, but also there's the Bangkok Asian Relays that are coming up. And this has nothing to do with Jamaica, probably. I mean, I'm just saying there are Asian countries that are going to Bangkok to run relays. And so, you know, whoever's on the
because Japan's men are in, are they?
They made the final.
They made the final.
Yes.
Yeah, that's very good. So that's probably why Akeem didn't run. So I think he just went there just to help them make the
Yes.
team.
Yeah.
But I mean, think about
He's
that.
because
As
he's
of
been
this
running
moment,
well.
as of this moment right now,
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Team Jamaica
Yes.
men
Yes.
are not going to Paris.
I'm not going to Paris. 4x1.
Like, that's an insane thought.
Yeah.
It is, but here's what's so crazy about that though, right? Who is 15th or 16th on the list? Like, who do they have to beat? Who is left?
I don't know, but they ain't beat them.
Do you see what I'm saying though?
Yeah, no, I get it.
I mean, let's go somewhere and run 259 3 flat. They'll be fine.
Yeah.
Right. Right. And I can't even imagine what they have to run the relays. Probably like 38-50. It's probably not anything.
Well, Liberia
crazy.
was 38-6, and they got in.
Right. And so that's what I'm saying. If all 14 of those teams are already in, I can't imagine who they have to beat.
Yeah.
It can't be very many people.
But they got to get the stick around the track
You do have to get
with a mark.
And there's got to be better sprinters than that in Jamaica right now. There has to be.
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And see, because that's the thing. That's the sly part of it. The Jamaican women got those relays in, and none of their stars were there.
Yep.
Right.
None
And that's what I'm saying. If you're going to do it, get it done.
right.
The men didn't get it done.
Right. I mean, like based on the time right now, a Tascasita would be in.
There you go.
Right? Am I wrong?
No, you're not wrong. You're not wrong.
So I'm saying, like, to speak to the ridiculousness of who Jamaica sent to try to do that is the point. Like, they have so many people that can run sub 39 seconds on a 4x1. Like, it's ridiculous that's
Well, see, I disagree. I don't think they have that many people, because if they did, they'd have been there. So I think they're just the opposite of us. I mean, when you think of, what the USA did was that they shined a very bright light on how easy it is to do that.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? Because, I mean, like, let's start with the fact that we kind of shined the light a little bit when we ran 37.6, right? So it's not that hard. So now the charge becomes, okay, like, we have seen this movie before where the USA goes to the World Relays and runs well, and then shows up at the World Olympics and does not.
Yeah.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
So let's celebrate the qualifying. Now let's get back to work. But you brought up an interesting point when you talked about the Texas State meet. I mean, the 5 teams under 40 seconds.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
Unbelievable.
1:22, breaking the national record by a full second.
Yes.
Props and shout out to my guy Clayton Brookings on that performance by Duncanville.
We can't talk about the babies that did it. We can talk about Clayton.
Absolutely.
That's right. Hell of a job.
Here's what I will say. I was there for the 3 days, Thursday, Friday, Saturday. And I mean, you talk about a well-oiled machine, like the way the meets run and the way, I mean, and the crowd, and knowledgeable, like you could just tell, like it was the closest thing that I've seen to like a Penn Relays, where you have people that have been at this meet, they've watched this meet for decades, and they love the competition. Fantastic. I mean, obviously, Orlando. What was the place where they host the Florida State meet all the time?
Oh,
Jacksonville.
Winter Park.
Winter Park.
Winter Park.
Oh.
No, Winter
I
Park.
mean, you know, to a smaller extent.
I mean, actually, at Winter Park High School.
Winter Park High School.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was held there for years.
I will say one thing about the Texas Relays, and I know that you will agree with this, though, Kareem. It is too exclusive.
We're talking about Texas Relays or Texas High School Championship?
The Texas High School State Championship.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
I mean, we all know how big Texas is, and you qualify to the state meet from 4 regions.
Yes.
And only the top 2 in each region go, and then the fastest 3rd place from the 4 regions. So that's how they fill the 9 lanes.
Both semis and final.
The simplest thing to do would literally just be to take the top 4 in all the regions, because that's how they got there.
Right.
It was top 4 in, what's the one before that? Area?
Yeah, area.
Right? So just take the top 4 in each region, so at least you could have a semi and a final.
Okay.
That would be the only thing I would love to see. But for sure it's going to be a superstar show, right? if you're taking the top 9 teams and the top 9 individuals that qualify through that gauntlet craziness to the state meet, like, yeah, it should be
Listen,
spectacular. But that's why the
as
California State meet is better, because you got 2 days of that.
well, no, not only that,
And
but
it's one division.
one champion. So listen, it's very exciting, and I watched most of it, via Flow Track, right? But I can't get behind the setup of it being awesome when you're crowning 13 state champions every year, because there's a whole private school division that does that too.
There is an entire
There's a whole private school division.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
And so that
all I'm talking about
I get it.
is
so
the crispness. It's
yeah. But that's my point, right?
Right.
If you can run that so well, you could just put them all together and have a championship.
Absolutely.
And it'd be even more awesome. My
Yeah.
thing, and this is for the nerds in the room, right? If you look at how you crown the team champions in that, a team that scored 61 points scored 85% of that.
Yes.
4x1, 4x2, 4x4.
Mhm.
There's so much emphasis on the relays,
right,
that so many of these uber talented kids get lost in the shuffle of the relays. And that is why you get performances like 39, 39, 39, 39, 39, because everybody is so hyper focused on getting those 20 points in the relays.
So
and it was a dope race. Great race.
You've just touched on a point, and I've had this conversation with multiple young coaches in our profession, explaining to them that if you go to the state meet, right, obviously the top tier is spoken for, right? But if you sit there and watch, and I don't care if it's 1A through 6A, and watch those relays, you would be shocked and amazed to see, okay, who is that on second?
Right.
Who's that on third? And if you can use your discerning eye, right, and get the name of that kid, you would be amazed the amount of kids that we will see at the national meet, whether they're on relays or individually, that never got a chance to run individually in high school. And that is still a big issue here in the state.
And it's going to be, because it's incentivized, right? The relays are double points.
Yes.
Right. And I've been to the meet. It's a phenomenal competition. When I went there, I remember there was a 2-session day. There was a session in the morning, and then we got top of the afternoon session. And Bubba Thornton was the head coach of Texas, and he goes, "It's time for the oohs and the ahs." I'm like, "What do you mean?" He goes, "You'll see, you'll see." So, but my next bucket list item to get out to the California State meet. That's my next one.
Yeah, man. That is fun.
You'll enjoy that.
Yes.
Yeah.
You're a track nerd at heart. You'll enjoy
completely different chaos, but there's nothing more cutthroat than the Cali system.
Right.
I mean, the Cali system is wild because after all that craziness of qualifying during the day, there is actually qualifying in the 4x4 at night. And that's always insane to watch. Everybody's been priming their 5th, 6th kid all year. This is your moment. This is your moment. Do not fumble this bag. Oh man. Well, gentlemen, I don't even know what to say. I get so excited conference weekend, even though I'm not coaching conferences, just because I sit in front of multiple iPads and a TV and a computer and try to watch all of y'all stuff. I feel like Dude in Beautiful Mind. I'm just like, I want more track. And then I'm like, y'all are exhausted, as you should be. And I'm like depleted after the meets are all over. Like, now there's no more track. Even though, of course, there's more track, but you get so inundated these next 3 days.
Well, I think the beauty of this weekend is, not just the team titles that, the team champions will be crowned, but like the individual performances we're going to see. There's not a conference in America where you're not going to see something special come out of it.
Right.
You know, it's not one. I mean, the Big 12 is in Baylor. We've seen some
Yep.
fast times there.
Yep.
We're the Pac-12 is in Colorado.
Colorado.
Yeah. For
As
Yeah.
long as it doesn't snow, you got
Exactly.
altitude.
well,
Exactly. If they get decent weather, it's altitude.
Yeah.
Run,
listen,
baby, run.
The big sky right now is like,
yeah,
hold my beer.
Yeah.
shout out to the Big Sky, where the meet is currently being held in Montana, and there is literally snow on the ground. We
And
gotta do
not just a
better.
little bit of snow. Yeah, not just a
No.
little bit of
No.
snow.
It's like
Oh no,
you want the
there are
shovel.
decathletes competing in feet of snow, like being shoveled, obviously, but
Right.
People,
insanity.
you have to do better. You just can't make these choices. Like this is preventable. My
Yeah.
goodness.
So the Pac-12 meet. I'm looking at the weather here. Thursday.
The last Pac-12 meet.
Yes.
Yeah, the last one.
Thursday.
That's right.
Does it start on Friday or Thursday?
Thursday, Friday, Saturday, as I believe.
48 for the high and 40 for the low on Thursday. 56 for the high on Friday. 63 for the high on Saturday. So
Yeah, nah.
What's it on Sunday? Just in case they go through Sunday.
Sunday it's 65 and 45. 55% chance of precipitation.
Wow.
This is the same conference that could have the conference meet at Arizona or Arizona State where it could be 100 degrees all 4 days.
But
Listen,
Colorado just laid down their brand new track. So yeah, I mean,
nobody cares. Nobody cares.
I will tell you this. If I was a Big 12 coach, I would be like, you know where we're never going for the conference? Colorado.
Oh my goodness.
And since unfortunately this is the death of the Pac-12 and the last Pac-12 championship, a word of advice to the Big Ten moving forward, the new Big Ten. Just have the meet at Mount Sac, people. It's cool. Everybody will be happy.
They
Just
will
run
never
it
do that.
just run it at Mount Sac. I know they won't, but they should because it's smart.
That would never happen. Yeah. Well, see, the problem you have is like everybody wants to host. You know, everybody wants to be able to say, I had the conference meet on my track. And no. Like, if you're in Montana, come on, guys. Like, yeah, that's
right.
not.
Like the Big Sky meet should be at Sacramento State every single year.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's not that hard.
That's the only conference I can honestly say, like, damn the school's advantage. That should happen. Because you know what the weather's going to be in Sacramento in May. And there is no chance of snow at all.
And you know, we're in the Mountain West. Luckily, currently, for a while, it is always here in Clovis at the same site as the California State Championships. And, you know, there's always rumblings like, oh, we should rotate it. And I'm like, why? You know who shows up? Parents, the athletes. And we're good.
Yeah.
It's going to be 90 degrees. We're going to run the 10K after the sun goes down. Everybody's happy. It's fine.
All right. Take a guess as to the weather in Ann Arbor. Michigan's hosting it for the first time ever. Take a guess.
Oh, I can only imagine. It's May, so
it could be 70 or it could be 35.
So when I was at Eastern Michigan, we had a 2-day meet. It snowed on the first day and was 72 degrees on the second day.
I say I'm calling sleet.
So I'm going to say one of the days the high is under 60.
Okay. Now,
and one of the days the high is 75 or above.
Right. So if the meet starts Thursday, it's 57 and 44 tomorrow. 60 and 44 Friday.
They're Friday, Saturday, Sunday.
Okay. So it's 60 and 44, 57, 41, 68 and 50.
See, that second day is terrible.
But here's the thing. Watch them run, though.
They're going to run. Of course they will.
Run. Yeah.
Because the one thing you will say is, right, the vast majority of those kids are Midwest kids who did that in high school.
Tough as nails. Tough as nails.
The vast majority. Absolutely. Not all of them, but the vast majority of them did that in high school. Oh, man. What's left for this? Go ahead.
There was a Sydney McLaughlin-Veroni. I'm sure I'm butchering her name, sighting. You know,
There was a
22
Michael
3.
Norman sighting.
Michael Norman sighting as well. Yeah.
So before we get deeper into that, right? Is there a more ridiculous results package to ever come from a sort of like it's kind of a nothing meet if you ever go there? The Occidental Invitational, if you look at the records that have happened at that meet, it makes no sense that that meet happened at Occidental. I mean, those things happen at Occidental in May, but it always happens.
But we're West Coast guys. We understand. Like, hey,
So
there's a
first of
meet.
all,
The track's
can
kind of
you
fast,
explain
and you ain't
what
got to travel.
Occidental is? What is Occidental?
It's a tiny private, what are they, D3?
Yeah.
I think that's
Really?
right. Yeah.
Okay.
Like
It's just
Occidental's in
it's
the, I think they're in
just
the
a little
same.
school out on the hill in Pasadena.
Yeah, I think they're in the same like league as like, Scripps Mud and all those schools.
Wow.
And it's usually, it's usually like a distance carnival thing, and then they mix in the other events. But like I said, if you train in LA, it's just too easy to float on up there and get a rep off, right? What I will say about the Sydney thing, because now apparently there was a report that she pulled out of the LA Grand Prix, right? And everybody's up in arms. I'm like, guys, get past it. Bobby gonna run when Bobby feels like running, and Sid is not concerned with racing the others in the 400 hurdles. Like it's just not. She ain't worried about it. But I was very happy to see the 44 low by Mr. Norman.
Yes.
That's awesome. That made the next 90 days a lot more entertaining.
Yeah, I just hope it's the beginning of a trouble-free summer for Mr. Norman. You know what I mean? Like I hope we're good from here. Cause I think I think I speak for all of you. Like we all want to see like unmitigated Michael Norman just one good time, right? Through a championship. Just one good time where he blazes one and then he blazes one on the relay.
We've seen it at Eugene.
Yeah.
Remember, he is the world champion.
Yeah. Yeah.
I gotta run,
the thing
y'all.
that
I'm late for my next Zoom. Love you all. Do your
love you
thing.
too, dog.
Kill it, crush it.
Good luck, sir.
Good luck, man.
Catch you next week.
Good luck, man. Catch you next week.
Good luck, sir. Real quick on the Sydney note, and I'm not trying to be funny. Does anybody know which lead leg she ran this with?
It was a dominant side.
Because I remember when Bobby had her run that race in the non-dominant, I was like,
in New York.
That was
indoors.
Yeah. And then what's her name did it this year indoors as well. Anna Cocker. Anna Cocker, I think, ran Texas relays this year with the wrong leg. She ran it for 10 hurdles. Yeah. So.
Well, it should be fun.
It's going to be a great weekend, man. And I think we're building towards. I think that what the World Relays did for a lot of people was, I think that's if you want to strip it down to bare nuts and bolts, the only thing that I really get excited about from the World Relays is the men's 4x1.
Yeah,
because that shows you the great potential. Running 259 doesn't excite me. What they did that mixed relay doesn't excite me. The 40, they ran 41.88 in the relays. There was a team that ran 41.9 here in Gainesville, two of them, right? So those times don't excite me, but 37.40 is cooking.
Yes.
And with that group of people, nothing against that group, don't be flooding my inbox with idiocy. That group running 37.40 is special. And that also shows you with another group, we can definitely run sub 37 and probably challenge the world record if it's done properly. So, but the rest of it for me was just, people the Dutch did it right.
Yeah,
they qualified the women's relay without their two big ones, and Bowl and them did what they had to do. They didn't get out of control. But it's going to be interesting to see what happens in Paris. It's going to be a whole different stage, a whole different vibe and energy. And so we better bring our A game. But if the USA walked away from that relay meet, patting themselves on the back and pounding their chest, nay. Men's 4x1 special, the rest of it, just you did what you had to do and you got it done.
Before, I don't know if you're planning to sign off soon, Huff, but can we discuss the reverse pivot by USA Track and Field?
That was going to be the last topic. So
Okay.
All right. No, bring it up. Let's go from there.
But I think the big thing there, Governor, is the fact that, we clearly aren't the only ones that realizes that's a breeding ground for our future.
Mm-hmm.
And so if we're going to expect our athletes to compete at an international level, they need to get that experience when they're young. You think about the number of stars we've had over the years, you go back, hey, just go back to a Christian Taylor and people like that,
Mm-hmm.
those guys started in the world youth system, right?
Yep.
Noah Lyles, world youth system.
Absolutely.
Right? And then even Sydney was an Olympian at 16 years old. So she never was at the World Juniors, but she cut her teeth at the highest stage as a youngster. So I think that the pivot totally came from the fact that I think they got pressure from the media. They got pressure from social media. I'm sure they got plenty of phone calls and emails sent to the office, because everybody realizes that that's the breeding ground for our future.
Right.
And so we can't just keep expecting the Sydneys and the Arians and the Noahs to pop up. We need to get them experience. But like I said, Noah went to those meets.
I mean,
would you say that you're surprised, Luciano, that this happened?
No, I'm not.
Okay.
Not surprised at all.
Okay.
I would argue that the U20 Global Championships is the second most important meet that we put a team together for behind the Olympics.
Oh, wow.
Okay.
Because it's got to be 85 to 90% of our medalists in the United States came from there. Right? Like, it's like, because it's part of a system. Like, that's probably the first time you go through a call room. You know what I mean? Like, all of those
Oh,
things.
yeah, the experience is like when you have an athlete go through that. I mean, Karan Clement went through that as a freshman year.
Yeah.
He came back from that, he was a different person.
Different person. You are a different person.
Yeah, different person.
Like, my track career at the beginning of it was very weird, right? I started doing track as a junior in high school. So my senior year in high school, I was the third best long jumper in the state of Indiana. And my freshman year in college, I was the sixth best long jumper in the world under 20. Going through that meet changed me forever, because I didn't know that track had that, right? I didn't know that there was like this importance. I thought it was just the Olympics, right? I didn't know that. And it changes you forever, because the one thing it does is it whets your appetite. Like, I need to be here every year. I need to be running in August or September every year.
Which U20 meet did you go to, Huff?
89. So it's a Pan Am.
Okay. I mean, you could go back and look at those start lists of the USA teams that have been put together for U20s. I mean, I was 15 years old when I went to the 1988 World U20 meet in
You can't do that anymore.
I know.
There's a minimum age requirement. Did you know that?
Yes.
Lucky.
No, I didn't know that.
I didn't know that until yesterday. You have to be 16 years old.
Yeah. So that meet in 88, that was the Quincy Watts hello world moment. And he was a short sprinter that point, but he kept getting hurt. So it wasn't until he got to USC that they said, you know what, we're going to try this. Andre Kaysen was in 1988. He was there too. So yeah, I mean, absolutely crucial, in my opinion, to the development of young men and young women. And to get that kind of experience going into college, or being your freshman year. Now, would you not say that's going to present some challenges considering the timing of the meet?
It will, because I can just tell you now, if we have incoming freshmen that make the meet, they're going to miss the first week of school.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Yep. No.
Right.
And obviously that if you have high schoolers, you're going to miss the first week of school.
Yeah.
So it'll be interesting to see what happens, man.
Yeah.
I'm just glad it's back on the docket just because it's
needed.
It's much
you
needed.
can't get it back either, right? It's just like a collegiate career. You only got 5 to make, well, COVID notwithstanding, you only got 5 years to make 4, right? You only get 8 chances at an NCAA championship, like 4 indoors and 4 out. Every time you miss one, you can't get it back. Juniors is the same way. Like you age out of juniors, and like at the end of the day, like nobody cares why.
Yeah.
I'm excited. I think this summer, you know, this set of conference meets is going to be very interesting. And I'm not a historian like you, but I try to at least pay attention when these moments are happening. Like this is the last conference meet with super teams and COVID kids.
No, it's not.
Yeah, it is. There are going to be some COVID kids next year, but every team has COVID kids on it now.
Right. And there will be a lot of teams with COVID kids next year because there's a lot of good COVID kids, as we're calling them, that have just an indoor, just an outdoor left.
Yeah.
Right. And see, if there's COVID kids that had injuries this year,
Yep.
because of COVID, they can get like a 6th year.
Yes.
So next year might be the last time you see COVID.
Before you go any further,
before
you go in, this could be an entire show. Like the amount of variables,
right?
Yeah.
The amount of things that are happening on college campuses, the amount of what's the word I would say? The amount of athletes that are manipulating the system.
Yes.
Whoo, I'm telling you.
Because just understand something. Anybody that was a freshman in 20, right?
Yep.
Or beyond. So a freshman in 20, a freshman in 19, and a freshman in 21.
Yep.
Like, oh yeah, they're going to be around.
Yep. Absolutely.
Yeah. After that, then you're done.
So crazy.
Yeah.
I feel like college baseball is the worst because like the average team age is like 22 years old now. You know what I mean? Like there's a lot of 24-year-old kids playing college baseball. A lot.
Mm-hmm.
I mean,
I'd never seen so many kids that wanted to go to grad school in my life.
Yeah.
I could go down the list in terms of, I mean, the mere fact that the portal opens during NCAA prelims, just that alone.
Which is still it's wild.
So this is what I think. Okay, so the initial portal hit on the 23rd will be from people who didn't make it to that meet.
Right.
Right. But the people that don't go on from the prelim to the final, will be flooding the portal after the NCAA. The Monday or Tuesday after.
Yes.
We're gonna call that Bloody Monday or Tuesday because it's gonna just.
So there's almost a for any young discerning coach that's coming into this that is thinking about recruiting outside of the norm. There's almost like, from cross country to indoor to outdoor, there is literally a way to conduct business if you want to have a successful team year in, year out. And I mean, I think we would need an entire show to kind of point that out.
Oh, on the portal for sure.
Yes.
Yeah.
Because it's a new era, and having these conversations with high school athletes and getting them to understand, look, there's nothing against what you've done, but we have to be patient. We have to be methodical, right? And this is where you stand. There's no there. These are the rules.
And we've talked about this a little bit before, and I think for me, like as I weed through this more, I'm gonna try to identify the better high school athletes and develop those to get back into really developing those. I mean,
Wow.
you can never say you're not gonna take anybody out of the portal,
Right.
but I mean, I just enjoy the developmental side of it.
That is I don't think you
Yeah.
understand how profound that is,
Which
Luciano.
which and see, and I think so for me, and I have the same challenge for you. We can coach, right?
Yes,
So yeah, you can go in the portal and find a 10-1 guy, but if I get the right 10-4 guy in high school, he becomes 10-1 pretty quickly.
absolutely.
And then I'm molding him and he's not bringing somebody else's issues to my campus. That's my thing. So I
Well,
mean, you have to be careful with the portal because you
Mhm.
get the wrong one sometimes. But at the end of the day, I personally am really trying to invest some time into getting some high school kids on this campus because I really enjoy the developmental side of coaching that way.
Well, two things are converging. The end of the COVID era combined with the, again, like you have to make these decisions about who you are as a coach,
Mhm.
right? Are you in the business to literally manage a kid for that last year that have already had success and are going to probably challenge you,
Mhm.
for that 1 year?
There's no probably to it.
Okay.
There's no probably to it because
So
I mean,
now, so now you
most
built
people are
up.
resistant to change, right?
There
So
you go.
I've had an athlete tell me, "Well, this is what I did at school X."
Mm-hmm.
Well, if you were so enamored with that, why are you here, right?
Yep.
If you didn't want to change, but that's what you get because the success that they had, they want to hold on to,
That's right.
right? Or you
That's
get the athlete that comes in and it's like, you know, the I I did this in high school.
Mm-hmm.
I want to go back to that.
Mm-hmm.
No, so like when you
Didn't
get the
come
high
here for
school
that.
kid, the right one, we're okay.
Yeah.
We're okay. Yeah.
It's I mean, we talked about this a long time ago when it first happened, right? The portal would have been world altering. COVID was world altering. The fact that they overlapped each other,
Yep.
right? If you just look at the college record books, what has happened to the college track and field record books in the last 4 years, it is so blatantly obvious the effects of COVID and the effects of the portal.
Yep.
Because
It is.
so many different schools have ridiculous school records now,
Yeah.
right?
Well, from that perspective, I mean, for those schools that use NCAA prelims as their recruiting model, okay, this is what it's going to take to make it to prelims. If you're taking the last 5 years, you realize, like, if you take the last 5 years compared to the 5 years before that, you are now almost doing an impossible job. And you're
Yeah.
almost telling, as a head coach, you're almost telling your assistants that I need top tier, right, coming in the door. Those kids don't exist. There are not that many of those kids that exist.
Right.
So you have to be very careful, in my opinion, when you're just looking at numbers or
Mm-hmm.
statistics and
Especially
basing.
from this 4 year span.
Yes.
Like I said earlier today, I think it was to Lucky. After this year, the collegiate decathlon is going to normalize back to where 8,100 points is really good,
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
right? Because 8,100 points is special in college. But if you did that in the last 4 years, you don't feel special at all.
Mm-hmm. You're just another guy.
You're
You're
just
You're a
just
two.
another
another.
guy.
You,
I mean, in some of the
you're a
positions,
259 relay, aren't you?
no, no, you're worse. You're like a 302 relay.
Oh my goodness.
Let me stop. Let me behave.
I mean, like, think about it. If you scored 8,100 points at last year's NCAA meet, you got beat by a whole event,
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you did.
right? And that's just not normal. That's not a thing.
Right. Well, like you said, man, it's gonna be a special weekend. Can't wait to get together and talk about it next week.
Absolutely. Well, folks, we have done a at least an admirable job of an all boys show. You know, we that our fan base doesn't really like it when we do shows without you, but I think we've done at least an okay job this time.
Holding it down.
I wish you guys the absolute best. Nothing but you know, healthy kids, new PBs, and bringing home trophies.
Absolutely,
And
my
I will
friend.
be, just know that I will be in my beautiful mind watching
Mhm.
everybody do everything. I think we could do a whole show about the LLC group chat during the conference meets. It's like NFL red zone, right? You find out everything that happens right now.
That's right.
Yep.
So, well, with that being said, you guys have a great evening. Hope everybody enjoys this on the bus ride, and enjoy.